Aries, this is incredibly powerful energy for you on September 2025 sky. Mars, the Lord of your sign, has been giving you a really hard time, and he lets up on you and gives you a bit of relief as he moves into Scorpio, a place of great dignity and power for him in the third week of September. But perhaps most importantly, this is an eclipse month, and we're all getting ready for that total lunar eclipse, trining Lord Jupiter coming from your Pisces 12th house into your fourth house. And that lovely eclipse that occurs on the 7th of the month is going to unfold over the months ahead, an incredible shift regarding things to do with wealth, prosperity, and home. And we'll show you how that looks in this month's sky ahead. There's so many other little devils that are in the details to talk about this month ahead. We'll be breaking it down bit by bit, week by week, in chronological order. Certainly the two eclipses are the biggest story of the entirety of September on the 7th, and a solar eclipse on the 21st in Virgo. So that story will be lightly touched on today in this video. We are together from 25 to 30 minutes today to talk about navigating the month of September to time your best life using astrology as a guidance tool so you can move in the direction of the content of the sky, not against it. So this is how you can move in flow with the sky. So my top is a little bit crooked, but I'm okay with that. I'm not going to fix it. One thing I want to say is that this is general astrology, not your natal chart reading. Use what resonates. Don't always expect it to be perfectly accurate. Listening for your sun sign is to do with career and purpose, and it's your true essential nature. The simulation avatar, the character you play in the game of life, is your rising sign, but it often is very circumstantially correct, and it will guide you towards very good guidance and how to navigate life and go with that flow. And your moon is connected to how you feel and your emotions, but also connected to your home and your nest. So listening for moon sign and sun sign and rising sign are all equally useful. If you don't know your rising sign, please go check out my free video tutorial in my freebies in my description box below, where I teach you how to cast your chart in whole sign houses, the original house system that's more accurate. And after you do that, to find your rising sign, you'll need a birth time. Hey, welcome to my channel. I'm Lori Lothian. I'm a Western tropical zodiac astrologer. I am using fixed stars and minor asteroids as part of my regular fare on the channel, all signs content. I put out several videos every single month. Come join me by subscribing. And by the way, I'm in a windstorm in my house. You'll have to deal. Holy man, let me close a few doors. But one thing I want to tell you is I'm also a teaching astrologer. I teach monthly classes, weekly classes, whatever. I teach a lot. And my flagship Sky Reader program is starting on September the 27th. As a Saturday, we run for 6 consecutive Saturdays in a row, live classes, replays available, forever access to the content on my Thinkific teaching platform. And we have weekly Q&A calls. We have 4 guest bonus teachers that you can study with and learn, and mini courses during my class and keep that content as well. And we're also going to be including a Facebook group and a Discord group where you can connect with other students. If you like that kind of high-touch, fun learning content, how to time your best life, how to read your sky, how to be your own astrologer using ancient timing tools that are pretty simple to learn, come join me on Sky Reader. I'll see you guys there. The link to enroll is probably already open in the description box below. There was an early bird pricing. It may not be in effect during this time that you're watching this, so I'm not sure if you got the early bird discount course code, but if not, check below. You'll have more information about that, including the course description. Thanks for listening. Let's talk, Aries, about your sign. Well, first of all, I'm one of you. I have a sun in Aries, and I also have I'm going to close that door. Hang on, because it's slamming in the wind. I have my moon and sun in Aries, so I'm always listening to myself because my sun impacts my career, my moon, my home. In fact, an eclipse to my moon in March of last year, of 2025, moved my home to this new place you're seeing behind me. So that's why moon can home and moon are kind of synonymous. So one of the things I want to talk about right away is Mars, because Mars is what we call your primary time lord. He's the lord of the sign of Aries, and so he has a dominant impact on everything that happens to you. And unfortunately, or fortunately, for whatever you want to call it, he's been in Libra for a long time. And this means that you're going to feel that like weight of that transit. He's in debility here. He's out of his healthy strength and he's out of balance. And he got into the sign of Libra, which for you, Aries, is your 7th house. And he got into that place of significant others, clients, audience, marketplace, and trolls, so to speak. He got there around August the 6th. and he doesn't leave till September 22nd. So as this month goes on, you're still under this intensity of Mars. And that's the most important thing I have to tell you, honestly, because that intensity is going to be still nagging at you. You might find clients are difficult, trolls are attacking you, your partner is grumpy and irritable. Sometimes it just means a physical separation from a significant person in your life, particularly a love partner. And so maybe someone's traveling or you're spending time apart. But if not, then there's a little bit of a clash or a lot of intensity. And people don't like that energy usually because it's combative or confrontational. And sometimes every 2 years when Mars moves through Libra, you may go through the urge to disengage, to unmesh, to unmerge from relationship. In other words, to break up, or someone breaks up with you. So that's just a 5 until the third week of September. I'm going to show you the sky and we'll get talking about it. I do this because a lot of my students and my groups of followers are learning astrology, and it's good to see the sky. So here we have, we're opening up on September the 1st. You can see that's Aries, and that's ascendant for Aries rising. We pretend the sun is in Aries or the moon is in Aries in order to delineate your sign. That's how we do that. So having this month start off, you'll notice that we still see Mars over there in the midpoint of your 7th house of significant relationships. And it's just this kind of pressure cooker feeling because he's squaring Jupiter. Now, this is a good planet, and Jupiter is exalted, and Jupiter has all the power. So Mars is rather feebly objecting to something. And as you notice, this is going to be playing out Mars squaring Jupiter for the first 7 days of the month of the first week of the month of September. I would say that this is definitely going to be difficulties with other people, like your significant other, your clients, your marketplace, and you feeling like this intense pressure from Mars because he's opposite your sign. For your sun, it's your career matters. For your Aries moon, it's your home base matters. And for your Aries rising, it's anything in your life, but it doesn't feel good. Okay, there's not a good vibe. And the square to Jupiter is just simply determining action that is needed to be taken. Now, actions and decisions are Martian. Be careful. Exalted Jupiter is over the top and could have a bit of an overreaction. And Mars is out of dignity, and we call him exiled here. So you could make irrational or overly intense or out of balance decisions at this time, or other people are trying to make them for you. And it's to do with matters of wealth and home. So in that way, I suggest you breathe and wait it out. Do not make irrational, radical, imbalanced decisions or feel like you're forced to make those decisions by other people. Let this week pass. Do not roll into the tension itself. For that tension can have you looking back after the first week of September and wishing you had not been so extremely imbalanced regarding a love relationship, a client, a troll, a home situation, legal contracts around home and property, those kinds of things. Now, during the first week as well, Mercury will square Uranus. Mercury is like information, news, something you need to know. Emails, phone calls, and text messages. Those are examples. This is going to happen as Mercury moves into Virgo. And now Mercury's got a lot of strength in Virgo, so we don't mind that. We'd say, oh, great. Mercury has got his essential dignity and he knows what he's doing here. So we do trust Mercury. Mercury's in the house of pets, rentals, health and health matters to do with your job, the workspace, colleagues, coworkers, employees, if you have them. And he's going to square Uranus, and he's going to be disruptive. There could be disruptive information coming to you from an employee, including a work situation. Third house matters to do with trips and travel, a disruption in your travel plans connected to work. A disruption or unexpected event with a sibling one younger than you, an unexpected disruptive story to do with marketing, selling, teaching, and writing and communicating in social media. Now, it could be positive. We could be working on something and it could take off, but still it's a square. So it feels difficult, more disruptive. And the disruption is coming through not only the third house, but also the sixth house. So I wouldn't hire somebody new under this. They'll quit the job before they start. If you're an employee, right? I wouldn't employ your employee stuff. I wouldn't take a trip under this storyline. I think, setting up to go away for Labor Day weekend, for example, you might find something falls through the cracks. It just doesn't go as you expected. It is a health house, but it's really coming, the disruption is coming from Uranus in the third house. Some unexpected, disturbing news about the health of a neighbor, an aunt, uncle, cousin, a sibling may be more likely to be a story that you'd experience under this kind of sky. And that's what I got for you. It's like the first week of September is a little bit rough. Let's call it that. A little bit doesn't shape up to feel like an easy week. So again, I would lay low. This will pass. Don't make any irrational, radical, unbalanced, over the top choices, or be forced to follow someone else's agenda who's bossing you around from your seventh house, that spouse, that troll, that significant legal situation that's going tilted out of control. When we move over to the eclipse, it happens on the 7th of the month of September at the end of the week at 15 degrees right here where you see the north node. So we'll move ourselves to that time frame so you can see what I'm looking at. And this is because the moon will be with the north node. Eclipses happen where the nodes of fate sit, which are math points, opposite the sun. So there's a lot to say about this eclipse, but I like it. I like it a lot. It's total. It's powerful. It unfolds over 6 months. It is flowing to Jupiter in the fourth house of property, land, and real estate. It is activating a flow from Jupiter to Mercury and the sun in the house of work, health, pets, and rentals. Jupiter is in the house of real estate and property. There may be an auspicious rental opportunity that this eclipse will bring you in the 6 months that follows, and it may be connected to far off lands or distant shores, either within your own nation or in another country even. And so there's a shift of opportunity here. It's not going to happen on the day of the eclipse, September 7th, but look for clues around that time to what this may be about. And you're actually feeling this energy building already before the eclipse itself. I'm recording this in August and I'm already feeling this energy myself. I have a great rental that you're seeing, but it might become my home office, pied a terre, as I find a quieter place without those sirens. Now, because your sixth house is also a work house, work matters connected to prosperity and wealth in the home and distant lands and shores are on the upswing. This is a fortunate narrative. And Saturn says legacy, lasting, long-term, anaretic power. And so you're making some big changes here. And if you have any kind of health matters connected to your own self-undoing, right? You're eating the wrong food, smoking the wrong stuff, drinking the wrong stuff. This can really belong to a turning point narrative. It's Jupiter representing guru, wisdom, knowledge, and goodness, helping you shift those stories for good. And so that you'll come into alignment with maybe a more moderate path, for example. And if you want a pet, you'll get a pet from this, but it'll be a soulmate pet. It'll be like, here comes my last pet reincarnated, no doubt about it. And if you want a pet, this pet story can open up in harmonious and beautiful ways over the next 6 months. And, charity and charitable situations like the 12th house, maybe a rescue animal could be coming in for you. And there may be a lot of beauty and joy in that because Jupiter brings both of those things to your home regarding animals. And that eclipse just feels so good. Now you'll notice that the whole sky will be dominated by the mini trine here that's in our heavens. And this mini trine is no longer connected to Saturn, but rather Neptune. This is going to dominate the entire month of September. And I'll be doing separate videos on that. It's mostly about the collective. It's mostly about humanity at large, but you're having a lot of personal flow between writing projects, communicating projects, visions, goals, and dreams, and career gains and long-range plans and goals as well. Writing, communicating, teaching, visions, goals, and career profits connected to visions and envisioning what you want kind of plays out through the whole month of September. As we move into the second week of September, you're going to notice that we come into the energy field of two major storylines. Both of them are positive. Second week of September looks better for the world and for you as well. So around the 10th and to the 12th, the sun will flow to Jupiter. Jupiter is exalted. He's super powered. He hooked up with Venus on August 12th, giving you a whole year of delight in that fourth house. And the sun is always willing to shine light on anything to make it stronger. Sun in Virgo, it is Virgo season, with the south node begins to flow to Jupiter around the 10th, 11th, and 12th and 13th of the month. So between the 10th and the 13th, you might find yourself coming into a very powerful, destined and fated work opportunity, wealth and work opportunity, an ability to pay down or pay off a debt, literal debt, money. and having a lucky break, being able to secure a rental opportunity, information coming around that, signing on leases, dotted lines, leasing your own property out, and having success doing that as well. These are just lovely feelings, feel good stories happening. Good health can come off of this as well as you move through a health challenge and are now on the other side of it. And Jupiter is blessing you on the other side of a health issue that will be resolved. And I also would say that because this sun is flowing to an exalted Jupiter and Mercury in dignity is telling that sun what to do, this is one of the best parts of this month. All good things, pets, rentals, work, and health are beginning to show up for you. We see Mercury moving into the heart of the sun at 19 degrees of Virgo. This will be exact on September the 12th. This is called a conjunction. It could be called a cazimi as well, but he's not retrograde. So it's a certain superior conjunction. He's on the other side of the sun, behind the sun from our visual standpoint. And so Mercury is having a reset button that lasts about 6 weeks as he gets new headquarters, missions, and instructions from the divine intelligence of the solar system regarding health, regarding work, regarding debts, regarding rentals, and regarding pets. Those are stories that you are going to see emerge with a fresh start and a new approach starting on that conjunction of the 12th. And because it's also still flowing to Jupiter, it's extremely blessed. And the South Node says fated and destined. So in general, we see this kind of second week of September looking like fated turning points and positive energy regarding those 6th house, 4th house matters. And again, this speaks to me of coming out the other side of a health challenge and finding a new direction, a new solution, including letting go of addiction, self-undoing, and bad habits and patterns, which Saturn, even though he's retrograde, which makes him easier to work with, is in the house of self-undoing. So looking over at this conjunction saying, smarten it up, cut it back, get on the moderation program. It's good for sober September, sober October, those kinds of stories. All right, now, the third week of September is interesting. We have a lot going on, including I'm going to do the 14th to the 21st, but we will have an eclipse on the 21st. So I'll save that for last. So on the 14th or so, starting even on the 13th of September, you start to feel the cosmic lovers loving each other up. Venus is sextiling Mars. I like this a lot. Venus and Leo in your 5th house of romantic love and flowing to Mars could heat up the romance front. If you're with somebody already, it means more fun, more joy, more pleasure, maybe some leisure romantic travel, just more sizzle and synergy between you and another person that you're involved with romantically and likely in a more committed story. If you're single, this could start a new romantic story for sure. Like there's no doubt about it. So there's a kind of, the 14th or 13th of September to the 21st, romance is in the air. Venus is a fertility goddess. You could get pregnant if you're looking to under this story. And Venus is also talking about creative and entrepreneurial and romantic and artistic and creative and entrepreneurial endeavors. And in her flow to Mars, even though he's at a balance, it could indicate greater passion and drive to get your creative projects into the marketplace, into the world, into the audience. Now, your children belong to the 5th house. Once they're here, they still belong to that house of children. And Venus is blessing them, giving them luck, and Venus in the house of children, right? Because she moved into that house. Great goodness gracious, I almost forgot to mention it. She moved into your Leo zone of the sky on August 25th, and she doesn't leave there till September 18th. So during that time, your children have good fortune. It translates collateral benefits to the kids, also collateral benefits to your love and romantic life as well, August 25th to September the 18th. But anyway, your children could have some really great blessings here in their life with the sextile to Mars to do with their own relationships, their own marriages, their own significant partnerships, etc. And Venus is telling Mars how to behave. She owns him. So she's saying, find joy, find bliss, find happiness, find satisfaction, find your true talents and use those talents in the world and bring them into the marketplace and audience. That's what she would have you do with that energy if you're listening. I like that she's flowing to Chiron. She's helping you heal chironic wounds of identity, maybe how you look. If it's your son, chironic wounds about purpose and career, chironic wounds about your home if it's your Aries moon. And she's bringing a lot of joy here, a lot of fun, a lot of pleasure to your life. Now, moving forward to the same time frame where the cosmic lovers are hot and bothered, you'll notice that Mercury gets into a tangle of oppositional energies. It's complicated. It's really a little bit more complicated than I like to try to delineate, but I'll do my best. Mercury comes to the tail end of Virgo. And so we have a day or two here around September 16th and 17th where he's having a battle with Saturn. Retrograde Saturn is looking back to the past. He's also talking about your addictions, your bad habits, foreign lands and distant shores, money you generate from international business revenue, borderless income. Saturn wants to make long game plans work. Mercury has got the news and information. There could be a problem here. And it's temporarily involved in a kite, but it's muddled. So don't ignore the kite for now. It could be to watch out on the 16th and 17th of the month for some kind of difficult circumstances connected to employees, employers, work matters especially, or health. This may not be about you. Saturn in the 12th could be the health of an elder in a hospital setting, and you're engaged in news and information and understanding that you hear about this situation, right? So it doesn't always have to be about you. But there's a bit of a time where I'd say, like, how not to use the sky to time your best life. Don't hire a new employee. There'll be problems. They might become a hidden enemy. Do not set in motion some major career project on September 16th and 17th, right? Wait it out. Let these 2 days go. Then when we move on to the 18th, 19th, now he gets into an opposition to Neptune. This is your significant love relationship challenge point, right? Difficult communication coming from a significant other that dispels any illusions you had about that relationship around the 18th and 19th of September. And with Mars out of balance, this kind of information time, September 17th and 18th, could lead to breakup energies in the relationships you have that are committed and long term. I know I talked about how the cosmic lovers are really getting along here, and they are. They are getting along. Venus is still flowing to Mars, but Mars is in debility. So and when we get to the anoretic degree here, there's turbulence in romantic love for your story on the 17th and 18th. No two ways about it. Or one of your children and their romantic love story is in major turbulence and calamity timeframes. Watch out for that 17th and 18th, especially, first and second born children in particular. Now, we are going to move into that eclipse on the 21st, right? It must be noted that that eclipse is really important. It's going to be kind of significantly changing your work in a way that you really maybe didn't anticipate was going to happen. So let's just move the dial forward and get to the eclipse story. Watch how this looks. Venus will slide into your sixth house of work. By the way, you're going to love her there. She doesn't like being in this sign. It's called her fall. You have to be careful not to be a workaholic here as Venus enters here on September the 19th to October 14th. Seen it over and over again in my Aries sun chart for my career when Venus is here for 6 weeks or so. 3 weeks every single year. I tend to go overboard in working hard and not enjoying myself. Okay. So just be careful September 19th, October 14th, that you don't bite off more than you can chew. South Node means depletion through work. And Venus doesn't know better. She's trying to have fun at work, and bring blessings, but she's in her fall. So be careful there. I'll be teaching Sky Reader. So I'll watch the sky not to overdo it and to find balance while I'm working. So that's what I mean by timing your best life. But as she slides into the sign of Virgo, we'll notice that we are looking for that eclipse. It's a new moon, right? A solar eclipse is a new moon, a new beginning. And as I get towards the actual eclipse in the sky, watch what I'm looking at on the 21st. I have to move us back by hours. Hang on. I lost your sign too because of the progression of the ascensional time. So hang on. You're going to have to trust me on this, okay? Don't forget, the moon is not really here. There is an eclipse on September 21st, and the moon and sun are conjunct at almost 29 degrees. That's 28 degrees and 58 minutes. So we'll say at the end of your sixth house, very powerful, almost energetic degree. Now, hey, the good news, the 28th degree is a household name degree and can bring worldly success to with household name and work and job story. So there's the upside for you off of this eclipse that happens on September 21st. Solar eclipse is importantly also got a South Node story. So it's also what destiny, fated circumstances are here for you, maybe what you need to release and surrender in the work environment. This can also be an eclipse because Jupiter's still witnessing it, that also brings greater prosperity, expansion, growth, and luck in your career. So I don't mind this eclipse at all. I actually quite like it. So there is that. I don't think it's of a hardship nature. Yet with Saturn opposite, now direct and witnessing the eclipse, he's going to be a tough taskmaster. He's going to demand you do your inner work. This eclipse says thrive and grow and expand and be successful in your career. Let go of what addictions and self-undoing doesn't serve you. Absolutely have to think about it. The 28 degrees active for Saturn and for the eclipse at 28 degrees means it's going to bring the possibility for work equals household name recognition if you're using this eclipse in the right way. Venus is still baking in a vibe of, hey guys, for 6 months, I might overwork. Yet she's in Virgo and she's good for writing projects. She's attentive to the details and she's trying to be of service. So if your work is aligned up with the idea that you're being of service, you're likely to experience great success in the work and career front. And she can bring you a new home that's a rental property off of this kind of participation in the eclipse. So there is that as well. And so it could be a new home that's closer to work or it allows for a bigger workspace or more facility regarding prosperity and work from home or working closer to your office. So your home and office are closer. Those are kinds of things that might germinate from this storyline for you. We're doing a whole eclipse video. Of course, you want to pay attention to that. I'll be going much deeper. Now, moving by day, we're going to lose our time, but we'll keep going. Moving by day, as we go through the sky, we see that around September 23rd, the sun wants to shine a bright, beautiful energy into Uranus's storyline, and it's called a trine, and that means it brings opportunity, luck, expansion. There's the sun. You'll start to see it building up because the sun moves into Libra. Welcome to Libra season, right? On the 22nd, just as Mars moves into Scorpio. Now you're going to love this, Aries. I mentioned it earlier. Mars in Scorpio in dignity, and he's your lord of your sign, is going to feel good September 22nd to November 3rd. So you can use November 3rd. Must be November 23rd. Can't be November 3rd. It must be November 23rd. Is that right? No, November 3rd. Sorry, November 3rd. Brain on menopause. So yeah. So those roughly 6 weeks ahead, really good for your financial situations to do with rent, property, home, tenancies, buy, sell home, making money, chunky money coming your way with great ardor and passion. We'll do a whole separate Mars and Scorpio all signs video. But anyway, what I do like about it is the flow to Jupiter and the North Node. At one point, he'll hook up in a grand trine here, and that's going to be really auspicious on your money story. Before we get there, right? And that could include inheritances. Before we get there, you'll notice that the sun at 0 degrees of Libra talks to Uranus at 1 degree. And they're moving in an interesting pattern. Uranus is moving this way and the sun's, they're not really moving towards each other. They're moving in different directions, but still they make an aspectual hookup. Here we go. On September 23rd, this energy is lucky and positive for your 3rd house and 7th house storylines. Yes, we see a kite forming to Neptune. It's too complicated to bring a kite down here. I'll be doing a video on that, but it can really have massive, pivotal, positive turning points in audience, marketplace, clients, and significant love relationships connected to travel, social media viral content, things to do with teaching and learning, and liftoff and super success. My Sky Reader class is starting on September 27th under the energy of this kite. So I'm looking forward to that as well. I love the energy here for you. If you are in a single Aries mode, then you might find travel opportunities or learning places can bring you into contact with a powerful, exciting new love relationship story. And with Venus in a broad sextile to Mars at the same time, you might meet this person through the work environment, okay? Through matters to do with your work life. It could be a client, could be a colleague, coworker, that kind of thing. But holy man, do love it for singletons looking for a new relationship. Stories to begin. And with Mars out of Libra, it's safe to start a new relationship. It is a positive time for new love to emerge in the life of Aries who are looking for love. Now, that said, we move our sky forward and we also notice another story happening. We notice that the sun is, well, I don't have to move forward. The sun is opposite Neptune. Sun-Neptune opposition will make you feel like you are trying to decide what's real and what's Memorex, what's an illusion with your rose-colored glasses and what's true. And again, you're looking at that audience, client, and significant relationship house. So you're trying to tell the truth. Is this real? And Saturn opposite the way, and he was more exact when the sun was back here, is saying be sober-minded and realistic about everything you're looking at in your life. I think look at like a work relationship could be coming forward for some of you singletons, and you're trying to figure out if it's real or not. And finally, the sun is trining Pluto. Pluto is power. Sun is the light of our exciting, soul energy of the sky. So I don't know. There's something like a new business partnership that brings greater profits to your career, something you shine into the audience or the public that lushes up wealth and power in your career profits. This is something that begins to really show up for you clearly on September the 23rd or so, and fulfills itself over the course of a couple more days. So the 22nd, 23rd, 24th, 25th looks so exciting here. Finally, the last week of the month is dominated by Mars square Pluto, and this is difficult for you because Mars is the Lord of your sign. And so, I can't mince that one. I don't care that he's in dignity. He's still squaring Pluto. So here we can see on the 24th, the square is really active. You'll start to feel it a little bit before that. Let's say the 21st, 22nd, 23rd. Let's go back and see when you feel it. Here, you start to feel it on the 22nd. It becomes pretty exact on the 24th, and it begins to sort of wane by the 26th. So the whole last week of the month is how you're having to make a decision or take an action that's strong, Mars in dignity, regarding a friendship, regarding a career ambition or goal. Because Pluto is so powerful here, a dominating, controlling, dictatorial elder sibling, friend, benefactor or ally, and push is coming to shove and something has to change. Now, you could even be having a battle over resources with a sibling, a battle over money, especially one older than you. That's the one I'm looking at. A disagreement or a fight regarding shared resources with somebody else that you are in a friendship with. Chunky money belongs to the 8th house. Inheritance money. Saturn, the old person in the house of hospitals, squaring Jupiter in the house of legacy wealth. There may be some battles with sibling energy for sure, with an elder sibling regarding inheritance money. That's a possibility that you could be going through at this time. Or there may be some challenges in the way the profits are coming through into the workhouse, the profits from the career itself, and some challenges in how you're dealing with that for tax structures, for example, and having to make some big decisions on that as well. So that's not the worst case scenario. Mars isn't hurting you personally, right? He's not going to damage you personally. And he's still in a whole sign flow to Venus. So it's better than not. It's not the worst calamity I've ever seen. But if you had a falling out with a friend or a power struggle with a friend, for example, or a benefactor, I wouldn't be surprised, or an elder sibling. That's what I've got for you. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And stop the share. For every single sign, I picked a dictionary word for each sign, and I got the ladybug for you. I just went randomly into this dictionary, and that's your sign. I'm not drawing cards for this particular series of readings for you. I mean, I do that in a lot of my All Sense content. I mix an oracle card, but I love this guy. Just pick a dictionary, close it, a ladybug. I've been getting a lot of ladybugs lately. They're lucky. They're so lucky. Okay. For luck, you got the ladybug. I love that. I don't even know where to go. Venus and Leo will transit through your luck house, and that is extremely important, right? So having Venus transiting your luck house for the entirety of the first, how long? Venus is in your luck house until September 18th, August 25th to September 18th. And for September's story, you got the luck goddess. You can win a lottery. I mean, this is speculative money and winning. So hopefully that's useful. And I forgot to mention Saturn left your sign, so that feels good. He backtracked on September 1st out of your sign of Aries. You can feel less serious, less heavy, less weighted down by life and reality. You've got rid of that heavy Saturn energy. Yeah, you were more serious. You might have felt old and creaky. I did. My son was kind of depleted by the vitality levels. Saturn like depletes your vitality for Aries sun. Aries moon makes you feel moody, heavy, melancholic, and sad or fearful. And for you, Aries rising, Saturn on your ascendant might have felt like you were just like, do I have to be the only adult in the room here? That energy is finished up. So good for us. It gone September 1st, back next February, but we don't have to live with it for a while. So I should have started with that. What a breath of fresh air, September 1st, to get rid of Saturn in Aries. Thanks for listening. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Come join me in Sky Reader at the end of September. In the description box below is all the information you need to know. I might still have the early bird discount running by the time you see this video. If I don't, I can't change it. That's life. Ciao, ciao. See you guys soon. Bye.